Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday to give you guys the hottest takes of professional wrestling industry, also all the actions inside and outside of the ring. So thank you for tuning in. Awesome. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Mine was very, very eventful. Thanks to, tried to hit a jackknife diving off my diving board, ended up slipping, hurt my ankle a little bit be all right. Ain't gonna take me down. We're here to talk about some professional wrestling. So yeah, thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a lot of show for you today on tap. Today we have our WWE Smackdown review. We also have my Monday Night Raw talk. We're gonna just preview it for a little bit, and then we're gonna have my top 10 men in professional wrestling power rankings. I'm going to have our top 10 women in professional wrestling. I'm going to cap it all off with my fifth and final segment. We're going to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view that happened on Saturday for TNA Slammiversary. It was a very, very good pay-per-view. It was, money well spent. I think it was on Thriller TV, if I'm not, mistaken. But it was pretty good. All in all, definitely give it 1,010%. Give it a look. Give it, check out the highlights on YouTube and stuff like that. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me your projected storylines. Maybe some people you want to see as champions, especially heading toward SummerSlam. There's only, I think, two episodes each of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of stuff's gonna be happening. A lot of stuff gearing toward that pay-per-view in Cleveland, Ohio. So definitely, and once again, guys, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. So remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the network and the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast so you can see more of a professional wrestling. All right, so let's go ahead and move on with that. We're going to top out our first segment. First segment's going to be WWE Smackdown. WWE Smackdown. So the show started with Cody Rhodes, of course, coming out addressing the attack that happened the prior week on Randy Orton. He was, Solamente putting a lot of blast on the Bloodline, wants to, pay respect to Randy Orton. Then you saw A-Town down, like kind of come down. They had a beat down on Cody Rhodes. It seems like he's kind of on everybody's radar right now. Unmistakably, he's definitely one of the top. He's the top superstar in wrestling right now. So definitely, kind of crazy. Cody Rhodes was straggling outside the ring, looked like he was done for. Then professional undefeated boxer Terry Crawford came out and gave Cody Rhodes a steel chair. Good for him. Good for him to find, some allies in places that you never thought, like the professional boxing, associate. I don't even know the PBA. No, that's the professional bowling associate. No, I'm just kidding. Uh, but no, it was kind of crazy to see Cody Rhodes, look like he was on top. Then he had to find a partner for the end of the night, which we will talk about later on in the segment. Next, we have Carmelo Hayes taking on Andrade. Two of them, two former NXT champions going head to head. It was great. It was a well fought match. Honestly, like it once when matches kind of go into like after a commercial and stuff like that, that just means that they're really, it was pretty cool. They had kickouts after kickouts, a lot of athletic moves. For a second, I was like, dude, are they trying to mimic the MJF match and Will Ospreay match on Dynamite that took an hour? And I was like, dude, no way. But this match was pretty good. All in all, I thought it was, in my opinion, I thought it was like maybe like 4.5 stars. Definitely loved how Andrade picked up the victory. Definitely, love his momentum within that. Carmelo Hayes is still one of those matches once again that although Carmelo Hayes did get the loss, all in all, he showed what he was made of. He showed that he's growing within the WWE Smackdown roster, so that's good for him. Andrade, I feel like ever since he's been back, once when he got signed once again by WWE, he's kind of been on a mission, and I support it. I support it. I think that WWE kind of misrepresented his talents when he was first with WWE. He came out of NXT. He was totally, he was like hot. He was undefeated. He was ready to like topple the world. I thought he was going to be one of the main faces on. I think it was Raw. He got drafted too. Don't quote me on that. I think he got drafted to Monday Night Raw, and it just never kind of, never really, came in fruition, so to speak. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see Andrade kind of have that second chance. Going to be interesting to see what they decide to do with his bookings and stuff like that. Next, we see Bailey and Nia Jax have a promo. They were talking, that face to face like screen thing where you always know, like once when they have an interview like that, they're gonna be pissed off and be like, "Where are you? I'm gonna come find you" and stuff like that. So, Bailey getting under the skin of Nia Jax addresses and Nia Jax. It was pretty cool how she said, "You will address me as queen." Not too much emphasis on the queen this year. More or less, I feel like on the king. Obviously, Gunther winning dramatically, defeating Randy Orton when his left shoulder was not actually completely down. So maybe that kind of adds a little bit to the fire there. But Nia Jax, man, I really don't see her. I was so confident. I was so confident thinking that she was probably going to win a SummerSlam, and I'm still like, honestly, I'm still like probably 60%, 40% that Nia Jax will win, and Tiffany Stratton cashes in the Money in the Bank right now. And then you had, the match where Bailey destroyed Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank, which was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of cool. Yes. The next we have Bianca Belair versus Chelsea Green. Bianca Belair was able to steal one, kind of crazy, kind of crazy. And then, of course, then you saw the women's champions come out to gloat, the former champs, Cargill and Bianca. So I think they are gearing up for them to face each other for one final time. I think right now, if you're going to put the titles on somebody else but Bianca Belair and Cargill, that you're kind of stepping into a different direction. I know I would as as a WWE like creative officer or something like that, because you have these two women who are absolutely amazing. WWE right now is in works for the Women's Intercontinental Championship and also the Women's United States Championship. So you're going to see a lot more like women's wrestling, like being broadcasted on TV and stuff like that. Like that's the reason why NXT has been so damn good is they've highlighted these talented women and they carry the show most of the time. Honestly, all the time. All of these girls carry the show. And then you get your Trick Williams and your Ethan Page, and then you get your tag team and you get your Heritage Cup. Well, very well balanced product you have on NXT. So I can see, once when this singles title comes to SmackDown, I think the Intercontinental Championship will come to SmackDown. It would make no sense for the Women's Intercontinental Championship and the Men's Intercontinental Championship being defended on the same brand. So I don't know, just a lot of excitement for that. I feel like that's going to be cool. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to break the two up. But overall, I think it's going to be it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Next, we have the contract signing. The contract signing between LA Knight and Logan Paul. LA Knight has gotten his wish, although it took Logan Paul to call him the hillbilly of anarchy. Call him the Rock, pretending to be the Rock with the spray tan. And it was kind of funny. But overall, after it all, Paul was able to sign, which was, good. LA Knight gets his match. They, erupted into a brawl and stuff like that. So now we have 2 weeks of promoting and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how much they can hype this up because they've been dragging this on for about, I want to say like a good solid like 2 to 3 weeks where you had LA Knight hanging out at Logan Paul's house in his pool and stuff like that. So, definitely, I'm excited. I'm excited. Like I said before, Tiffany Stratton, she defeated Meat Chin, but at the cost of her Money in the Bank briefcase getting beat the hell out of. It's crazy. It looks like crap. No, Tiffany Stratton actually did not win. Did not win. And then Meat Chin was able to pick up the victory because of Bailey's distraction. Oh yeah, that's right, Bailey's distraction. And I like Tiffany Stratton as Money in the Bank winner. I think that they're going to mimic what happened with the men's side. They're going to have a fast cash in, definitely 1,010%. I don't see really the women's Money in the Bank, lasting until Survivor Series, let alone WrestleMania of next year. Right now, you have Bailey as champion. I don't want to say she's a transitional champion or a bridge champion. And then you have Nia Jax, who it seems like she always gets screwed over by this briefcase, kind of like a Drew McIntyre from the women's division. You know what I mean? Because last time Alexa Bliss cashed in her Money in the Bank, and she was able to steal it from Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. So, kind of crazy. Maybe a little foreshadowing, honestly, at this time. Right now, the women's division, you have Asuka out, you have Becky taking a break, you also have Charlotte out, a couple other good big wrestling names that I can't think of right now, but you kind of need a little spice. I know right now Monday Night Raw has Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. You need a little spice to the women's division, and I think Tiffany Stratton could bring that to a crap load, and kind of holster the women's division on her back. I definitely think that she would be a great choice. And lastly, Solo Sikoa has put the SmackDown locker room on blast that if you are not with us, if you decide to side with Cody Rhodes, you're against us. So, not a lot, not a lot of good things, especially hearing from the new self-proclaimed tribal chief and the destruction he brings with his young bloodline, the Tamatanga Tangaloa, Jacob Fatu, and now we have Hikuleo and who's the brother, the younger brother of the Tongans. So something's gonna happen. Something big's gonna happen. Still kind of crazy to think if Cody Rhodes is going to lose his championship at SummerSlam, but at this point, you kind of need Cody Rhodes to lose just so it kind of establishes credibility for Solo Sikoa. Because once when Roman comes back and wants Solo Sikoa for that, tribal chief kind of, that honor, you kind of have an even sides here. And I feel like if Solo Sikoa goes into a fight with Roman Reigns without having to ever hold a championship belt, let alone defeating somebody one-on-one as prestigious as the American Nightmare, you could pretty much kiss that promo, kiss that storyline goodbye because it's going to be kind of going to be trash, to be honest. But that's my opinion, 1010%. If you feel otherwise, make sure you hit up the chat section so we can talk about it. So at the end of the match, Cody Rhodes had a partner all along, had Kevin Owens. He answers the call. Like what happened last week with Randy Orton being demolished, now we saw Kevin Owens' fate kind of be the same way. So the Friday Night SmackDown ended the same way it ended last week with one of Cody Rhodes' allies being absolutely, demolished. So all right, now we're going to jump onto Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw is airing right now on the USA Network. I have not checked a single shred of social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. So, I have it taped right now. I can't wait to watch it after the show. So let's go in and dig on into if what I'm about to say is completely, and utterly like, oh, dude, Eric, come on, like you're not a wrestling fan. No, I'm just kidding. So we're going to talk about it as soon as we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific, talking about all things professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside the ring, potential storylines, injury updates, superstar rumors, you name it. We covered all in this show. Just kind of reflecting what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review, and now we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, what's going to happen tonight. So we are live in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the home of Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Who knows that they're going to be really, good this season. Should be interesting to see. Honestly, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be fine under Jordan Love. Obviously, once when Aaron Rodgers left the Green Bay Packers, it was a little troublesome. So now, it'd be kind of cool to see some Green Bay Packers at the show tonight. Usually in terms of professional wrestling, you see a lot of football stars like Travis Kelsey. Also, you saw Patty Mahomes on Monday Night Raw about a couple months ago, who quote unquote helped out Logan Paul, which wasn't good for his publicity because he was helping out the heel and stuff like that. But it was all in fun. It was all in fun. And then it'd be kind of interesting to see. Then you saw Arrington and also Brunson, the NBA stars, and then of course you have the biggest WWE fan in the world, George Kittle. Actually, just got done watching that wide receiver documentary on Netflix, and it was great. I got to be honest, it got me really pumped up for the NFL season. Kind of like what quarterback did, kind of brings you in the world of what it takes to be a wide receiver in the NFL. So, kind of showed their journey once when the 49ers lost and at the end of the promo, and I'm not trying to, cut any spoilers or anything, but it was just sad, watching just like everything they go throughout the season, just seeing it all kind of crumble at the end, thanks to Patrick Mahomes and, a fumble by, what's his name? McCaffrey at the beginning of the game that changed. Oh God, it was crazy. It was crazy. All right, moving on to Monday Night Raw today. CM Punk returns. CM Punk returns tonight at Monday Night Raw in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Obviously, going to be really, really infuriated by Drew McIntyre not swallowing his pride and saying sorry to the two officiates that he disrespected. Not Nick Aldis. Adam Pearce wanted an apology for his unprofessional conduct. Obviously, didn't get that. So now his SummerSlam match is in jeopardy against Drew McIntyre. So, that pretty sure something's going to be, told from that tonight as well. Also, Xavier Woods needs some help. He needs some help against the Final Testament. All of his allies are gone. Biggie, obviously, had neck fusion surgery. Said he's actually feeling really, really damn good. Not really trying to put a time or stamp a date on his return, but I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen sooner or later. By WrestleMania, I doubt it. I don't think so. But it'd be kind of cool to see the New Day get back together one last time before, if WWE decides to break them up, which would be absolutely garbage, which would be terrible. To be honest, that's how I would feel, especially with Monday Night Raw going on Netflix. You're going to kind of need that spark that the New Day, kind of bring to professional wrestling. So, obviously, wishing the best. You see Xavier Woods teaming up with the Alpha Academy. We have Otis and Akira Tozawa taking on the Final Testament tonight. So I have high hopes. I'm pretty sure Xavier Woods is going to. Oh man, Akam Razar, man. Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross looks like he's in the best shape of his life, to be honest. Whenever I see him on TV, seems like he's just getting cutter and cutter. I used to relate to him and be like, dude, this guy has a dad bod, man. Represent. But like now he's getting, I'm like, oh crap. Like you're just like everybody else. I'm just kidding. No, no, but like, it's I think this has to come to an end. I don't know if they had something planned before Kofi getting injured. But they approached Xavier Woods a couple of times, wanting him to come to the dark side and be his own person, saying that Kofi Kingston ultimately slows him down. Kind of nothing being blossomed here. My what I would do if I was like a WWE creative officer is I would just have Xavier Woods and Alpha Academy win this match. Bam, it's over. The Final Testament go approach somebody else. Maybe like a Chad Gable or something like that. Although you do have the White Six on them, I don't know how long this feud's going to last as well. So it would be kind of interesting and kind of a bold statement for WWE Creative to be like, yeah, let's create this badass tandem, this badass faction, this scary, horrific human beings, following Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy. And the first person we have him feud with is Chad Gable. So that would be kind of ballsy to do. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but I would have expected, because when the Wyatt family first came onto the scene, automatically went to John Cena and attacked and stuff like that. So, definitely maybe something that could be in the works, but obviously not right now. So, yeah. All right, so next we have Lyra Valkyria taking on Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville returned last Monday Night Raw and won her first match back as a superstar and stuff like that, which was, kind of cool, to be honest. I like seeing Sonya out there. Her new faction that she has with Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and herself. I feel like all three of these women obviously need to propel their careers in an upward spiral. Lately, with that in the past couple of years, they just been kind of floaters within W. I know Sonya Deville did get injured, but Shayna Baszler, her career has never really made it up to potential. Zoe Stark, ever since coming from WWE NXT, never really made it up to the potential. They attached her with Trish Stratus just to kind of be a menace to Becky Lynch. And nothing actually ever came out of that. They did fight because Zoe Stark felt like she was being disrespected and attacked Trish Stratus, but would like to see more for Zoe Stark. She has a lot of a lot of talent within herself, a lot of potential. So they're going after the women's world tag team. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know, exactly, because right now you kind of have Damage Control and this new faction on the same brand. So, kind of crazy, but hey, who knows? Something will happen where Damage Control needs to defeat them, or maybe they become the good guys. Like, who knows? So, obviously, Sonya Deville needs to get this win against the always very enthusiastic, charismatic, and her herself has been on a pretty hot streak, Lyra Valkyria. So this is not going to be, just an easy 1, 2, 3 for Sonya Deville, but it should be interesting. Next, we're going to see Seth Rollins' next move. Will Seth Rollins interrupt CM Punk tonight? Because, CM Punk was also the reason why he lost his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest. Also, the botched kick out and stuff like that. Kind of a crazy sequence. And sorry, there's a fly buzzing around me. It's kind of a crazy sequence happening around these three men, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins coming back from an injury. Drew McIntyre coming back from an injury, and same as CM Punk. So a lot of these guys, all three of these guys, to be honest, they need something big. They need something big to kind of help. Right now, if WWE makes this into a triple threat match for SummerSlam, to be honest, I'm going to be kind of pissed because that for sure means that they definitely wasted the men's Money in the Bank. The man, having Drew McIntyre being screwed by CM Punk after his cash-in should have just meant okay, those two are gonna, go at it and stuff like that. So now you have Damian Priest on a completely different path, taking on Gunther. And then now you have these three guys with at first I feel like they did have a purpose with McIntyre versus CM Punk, building up this feud and stuff like that. I saw a comment on Twitter saying that this is the new Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels kind of feud, which I honestly don't agree with. But although these guys are talented as hell, but we're gonna find out Seth Rollins' next move. Lastly, we're going to talk about Bronn Breakker and Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov. Something has to give. We have 2 weeks for this triple threat match to be made for the Intercontinental Championship. Liv Morgan and Mommy drama will continue, as well as the Judgment Days. Loyalty to Rhea Ripley and also Damian Priest. And, we're going to find out Damian Priest and Gunther will probably go head-to-head once again. Damian Priest coming off of one of the biggest wins in his whole entire career, knocking off Braun Strowman. And then Gunther just, kind of becoming that heel. That, a lot of wrestling fans, they respect the hell out of Gunther because he puts on really quality matches. He's kind of out there on his own, not really the heel. He's, this young, strapping, tall, beast of a man, and people love him. It's not easy to just root against Gunther. So although his last week's promo was pretty crazy, and so that's good. Monday Night Raw. Obviously, if I missed anything, hit me up in the chat section. Let me know what you want to talk about in terms of Monday Night Raw. But now we shall move on to our weekly. Oh no, that's the next one. Our men's weekly wrestling power rankings. We're going to talk about in my opinion, 1010% my opinion, the top 10 men in professional wrestling right now, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, you name it. Obviously, if you have a couple suggestions, hit them up in the chat. We'll talk about it. Until then, hey, I'll be right back.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday to talk about professional wrestling on the GSMC Sports Network, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern. Just kind of reiterate what we talked about. We had our WWE Smackdown review. We had our Monday Night Raw preview. And now we're going to talk about my weekly power rankings. So, should be pretty crazy when, if you guys want to roll with it, whatever. But, obviously, you can let me know how you guys feel in the chat. Also in the chat, hit up the gsmcpodcast.net link. Leave a tip, donation, anything's greatly appreciated. Honestly, would love to know if you guys are being entertained, if if I'm doing my job right. If you have any suggestions, give me any comments, concerns, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Honestly, really does help the show, guys. Just a little bit of, just a little bit of help. It goes goes a pretty long way. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. And hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. All right, so let's go ahead and dig on into our third segment. We're going to talk about our men's wrestling power rankings. All right, starting off with number 10. Number 10, of course, I have the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Mark Briscoe, going to be competing on Dynamite for Blood and Guts. I don't know why I love that he's in this match, 1,010%. But he has a huge match with Roderick Strong at Death Before Dishonor, I believe on Saturday. Yeah, on Saturday, Ring of Honor, man, this is going to be. Love Mark Briscoe, love his attitude to always keep fighting and stuff like that. But I don't know. I honestly want to see him still as champion. But he's had a pretty good run. He had a pretty long run. I've always kind of had him on this list because, got to respect the man. Definitely got to respect the man that is kind of, also holding up the Ring of Honor, kind of brand and stuff like that. So, I don't know if he's going to lose the title, much like you kind of saw Kyle Fletcher do on Ring of Honor when he dropped the television championship. Maybe you have Mark Briscoe kind of becoming more of a permanent superstar on AEW because he's there all the time. He's part of the conglomeration with O'Reilly, Cassidy, Ishii and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just, honestly would hate to see the belt drop off him if he loses the belt. Not, he had a really good run, had a very, very good run. So, I honestly think that, something's going to give. I see him here at number 10. Hopefully this isn't the last week he's Ring of Honor champion. At number 9, of course, I have the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, the winner of the Owen Hart Cup tournament and set to face Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at AEW All In at Wembley. This guy's still on fire, despite after all the injuries, after all the turmoil, after bouncing, back and forth between brands and stuff like that, and leaving WWE. A lot of people thought once when he left WWE, he was kind of pursuing more of a mid-card general role. But this guy's still in the main event card. Bryan Danielson, he's still strong. He still can put on like top tier matches and stuff like that. No one could ever. He's the ultimate underdog. Everybody remembers that fight when he fought Triple H and you had the Yes Movement. Absolutely, 1,010%. And Daniel Bryan, he deserves all the flowers, 1,010%. He's one of the best wrestlers to ever do it. No doubt in my mind that he is a future WWE Hall of Famer. Is he going to win at Wembley? Swerve has also had a pretty long title run, defeating Samoa Joe. And now with MJF as the international champion, and it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a war. Bryan Danielson is no one you can kind of be like, oh, that guy's going to lose. No, this guy's a fighter. This guy could win any match, to be honest. Definitely. All right, at number 8, I got Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry pinned the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose to, eliminate him, giving fans the hope of a new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I thought that was pretty cool. When he got pinned, I kind of knew something was going to give. I was like, okay, that's crazy. We're going to have a new champion out of these guys left over. kind of kind of sucks how Kazarian and Nick Nemeth were the last two, but overall Joe Hendry put on a really really good match, 1,010%. And he said if he was going to win, he's going to call out John Cena. That would have been pretty awesome to see. That would have been blockbuster. That would have been insane. Something you would never ever would have thought, which would have happened on at a W or like a at a TNA collaboration between NXT and stuff like that. So definitely think that was pretty crazy. I love that. You know, like one of those matches where he technically lost, but he kind of won at the same time. Like he was in a really it was a 6-way elimination match. Like come on, like that's crazy. Obviously you saw the betrayal from Josh Alexander, but I still have high hopes for him. He said he's not going really anywhere in NXT. This guy's an international star. I feel like he's going to go to WWE and get his. So definitely think 1,010% would be crazy to see Ethan Page and Joe Henry go at it for the NXT World Championship in the future. So yeah, at number 8, I have Joe Hendry. At number 7, I got the Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn still Intercontinental Champion. He's taken down Bronn Breakker. He's fought. Who was it that he fought? That was also very impressive. He also beat off Bronson Reed, Chad Gable multiple times. I like Sami Zayn as the Intercontinental Champion. So far, I feel like he's represented the championship title really, really well, which kind of makes me think that and he wins cleanly too. He doesn't win by ambushing his opponent, or he doesn't win by doing any crazy against the rules kind of heel, playing dirty and stuff like that. And I got a chat from sorry if I butcher your name, Ibzon Arroyo. Greetings from Atlantic City. Hope you're having an amazing night in Atlantic City. I heard it's beautiful. Definitely one of the places I love to go travel if I had the money. But I hope you're doing really, really well. I hope you had a great weekend. And I feel like if there's a triple threat match heading toward WWE Summerslam, be kind of the perfect way for Sami Zayn to drop the title. Not, whenever it comes to triple threat matches, much like you saw in TNA, like it took us people to kind of bite onto this 6-way match for the elimination match for the title, for them to be like, okay, I think Moose is finally going to drop the title. And that's going to be brought up on TNA Impact this Thursday. So, it's kind of crazy. The system they really did dirty. They did dirty on Slammiversary. It's kind of crazy. I got to speed this up. At number 5, we have the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Nick Nemeth, finally getting some gold. Loved it. Thought it was going to happen a little sooner, to be honest. Obviously, it's, better late than never, I guess. So I thought that was, pretty cool. 1,010%. Next, we had, dang that fly. At number 5, sorry, excuse me, we have Ethan Page, the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, still doing his thing in NXT, still cutting some really, really good promos. So being that super heel, he has that it factor to him. That kind of like, you can't really you can't touch this, but you can see that he deserves a championship. He definitely deserves a belt around his waist. Ever since he made it to NXT, his first promo was absolutely 1,010% electric. From the get-go, I knew he was going to be a star in NXT. Kind of interesting to see what they do with his character kind of moving forward. But, and Trick Williams as well. Still should probably get his rematch. So Ethan Page, if he wants his role in WWE NXT to kind of be taken seriously, he has to probably, take down one of the best NXTs have is, Trick Williams and stuff like that. So, Ethan Page at number 5. At number 4, we have the AEW International Champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Man, this guy is just, so crazy, so electric. But you got to respect him. Respect MJF at all times. Love the guy. All right, at number 3, I have Damian Priest, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's been around this number 3 spot ever since he became champion, to be honest. I think ever since I started this podcast, he's been number 3 because he's been the World Heavyweight Champion. I really don't know what to do with him just yet. I don't think he's a transitional champion or a bridge champion, being brutally honest. I think he does have talent. And I think overall WWE really does want to push this young superstar. The crowd, the audience has been kind of opening up to him, because at first I felt like when they were introducing the idea of him becoming a babyface, he was still being booed and stuff like that. But then that's of course, when he was fighting like with Seth Rollins, obviously the fans are gonna take over Seth Rollins. Gunther's doing a really, really good job saying things that'll, to hurt just the average person who could relate to Damian Priest, fighting his way from the streets and stuff like that. So, definitely have high hopes for Damian Priest, and it's gonna be interesting to see what WWE does moving forward. He did beat Braun Strowman last week on Monday Night Raw, which was great. I definitely think he needed that win, but he needs to win the match cleanly. He needs to retain his championship without Judgment Day. He needs to win cleanly. Defeating Gunther, Gunther couldn't damn well put Damian Priest over right now with this win at SummerSlam. So, high hopes for Damian Priest. At number two, I have Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes still fighting off the bloodline. It's good. It's good TV. But 2 weeks in a row, it's ended the same with Cody Rhodes' allies being absolutely decimated and demolished and destroyed. So nothing really back. No, there's been rumors about Roman Reigns all over the wrestling, entertainment, industry and stuff like that, but nothing's really came in fruition. But Cody Rhodes has the company on his back. We took a step out of this Roman Reigns kind of bloodline headed company, and they gave it to Cody Rhodes after 2 years of his story and stuff like that. You definitely got to respect what the WWE Undisputed Champion had to go through, leave WWE, kind of learn a little bit around the ropes, become an international star, start a company, come back, win the championship. So definitely got to respect him at number two. And of course, at number one, I have Swerve Strickland. I love Swerve Strickland mostly because much like WWE did with Cody Rhodes, like you've had this wrestling promotion kind of step into the new direction. AEW, Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, injured or suspended, and then now you have the Young Bucks doing their thing, which I think is kind of ridiculous and is getting a little old at this point with the EVPs. And then you had CM Punk leaving, then you had Cody Rhodes leaving, then you had someone big like Jade Cargill leave, and it's just then they put the title on you. They put the title on you. They're like, here we go. You got to basically, fight for ratings. You got to be a very glamorous, marketable champion. And so far, he's won every match cleanly. He's, a well-fought champion. He's come from heel to babyface, over the top and stuff like that. And, he's putting on some pretty damn good matches. And now he has a match with Bryan Danielson at All In at Wembley Stadium. So, nothing but good things from Swerve Strickland from the beginning of his title reign. So hopefully it doesn't come to an end. To be honest, I like Swerve Strickland as the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, do not go anywhere. We're going to move on to our fourth segment. We talked about the men's, and now we're going to talk about the women, the amazing women of wrestling. I'm going to give you my top 10. So hey, stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Talk about all things professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. We cover on this show all the rumors, all the superstar news and stuff like that, injuries and all that jazz. Join the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review, our WWE Monday Night Raw preview, and we just got done talking about our weekly men's wrestling power rankings. And now we're going to move on to the women's. We're going to, with the women's, it's harder than the men's, to be honest, because all these women are, pretty astounding, to be honest. And it's hard to kind of put them, before I start with anything, make sure I want to address the issue that, I have a couple of honorable mentions that didn't really make it to the list. I love Britt Baker, DMD, 1010%, her feud with Mercedes Moné. Also, gotta, pay respects to the queen of the ring, Nia Jax. She didn't make it. And also Mariah May. Everything she's done on AEW, trying to promote this new feud between him and her and her former protege, Timeless Tony Storm. So, just right off the bat, a couple of honorable mentions, but, very, very hard, very, very hard. All right, at number 10, we have Athena, the Ring of Honor World Women's Champion. She's on a total record. She has, she's, kind of had an injury lately, but I don't know if that's, so much as playing kayfabe and stuff like that. But now she's going to try to prove that she's a worthy champion at against Queen Aminata at Death Before Dishonor on Saturday. So, who's she going to walk out the champion? Only time will tell, and only the Lord knows. Should be interesting. It's going to be a great match. Can't wait to see her back in action. Right off the bat, I have the MIT back to back to back. I have the Ring of Honor World's Women's TV Champion Billy Starks. Billy Starks has represented the company as well. Kind of that that sidekick. Like she seems like she's like kind of mean. Seems like she goes along with mostly what Athena kind of says. But she's done really, really well. She's been in title matches, proving ground matches, and stuff like that. She's, no, she's not. You're just your average mid carder trying to hold a championship. I think 1010% that she's a superstar. Definitely think, if any of these two women, Athena or Billy Starks, had a chance of walking out of Death Before Dishonor, holding their championship belts, to be honest, I'm gonna pick Billy Starks. So, to be honest, that's just me. All right, at number 8, we have the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. Not a hugger anymore. So crazy that it just went so viral when Nia Jax said BBL. Absolutely insane, absolutely crazy. Thought that was, kind of interesting, kind of funny a little bit. But Bayley immediately took to social media and shut down those rumors and stuff like that. But focusing on wrestling overall inside the ring, she still cuts pretty good promos. I love her as a babyface. It came to me as a shock when I found out that Bayley, her decision to go heel was solely on her. She wanted a kind of different, kind of view her story from a different perspective and stuff like that. 1010% giving flowers, creating damage control. Definitely helping out the careers of the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, and also Dakota Kai. Who Dakota Kai was actually she was let go by WWE, came back, and then the damage control happened, and she kind of found her place. So definitely can't help but to feel like Bayley is partially to kind of give flowers to, and stuff like that. So cool, pretty awesome. Bayley, 1010%, a women's champion that is very, very, very prestigious with the company for a long time, and is to the point where she's kind of getting to that age where just putting over young talent, helping people grow, but she can still win the big one here. Definitely someone you should not just shake off and be like, oh, she's a has-been. I don't think she'll ever be a has-been. She will always be in contention. So at number 8, I got Bayley. At number 7, I got Willow of Nightingale. After Willow of Nightingale lost to Mercedes Moné at Double or Nothing, I gotta be honest, I was kind of heartbroken because I was like, oh, I feel like they've kind of given the world to Mercedes Moné ever since she signed with AEW for millions of dollars. But I definitely hated how Willow of Nightingale was kind of like the victim and kind of that aspects. But she got right back on that horse and rode. She became as soon as Stephanie McCure was signed by WWE, she vacated the championship. And who to represent a championship and a promotion better than Willow of Nightingale? Willow of Nightingale, I got it at number 7. All right, at number 6, I got Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is definitely on the verge of becoming WWE Women's Champion. When will it happen? I am not too sure. I have speculations that it will happen at SummerSlam. Maybe it might be a little too soon, but Nia Jax becoming the champion and having Tiffany Stratton watch her back with the Money in the Bank briefcase, it just seems like it's just, and you kind of see them right now, their tandem. She's my cute little Barbie doll. But it's not the case. Like you could just see that there's like hidden agendas by Tiffany Stratton. Obviously, she wants to become a WWE women's champion. Obviously, that's the goal here. So, not making friends along the way. Tiffany Stratton will eventually stab Nia Jax in the back and cash in the money in the bank, or it would make sense for Bayley to retain the championship in some miraculous way, and then Tiffany Stratton attacking Bayley, cashing in on her, winning the championship, and then Nia Jax would kind of be her, her protege, like her bodyguard and stuff like that. That would be more of an interesting role there, to be honest. But hey, who knows what's gonna happen? At number 6, I have Tiffany Stratton. At number 5, I got Mercedes Moné, a double champion. If that right now feuding with Britt Baker, the DMD. So I love Mercedes Moné. Definitely love her more. I hated putting her on my list when she was a babyface because I was like, I don't know, this doesn't seem like this is working. She's pandering to the crowd way too much. The crowd kind of buys into it, not so much. But as soon as she becomes a heel, I love it. I love it 1,010%. Now I don't mind putting her on this list. I'm like, okay, now I feel like she's at this juncture in her career. I feel like she's exactly right where she needs to be. All elusive, exclusive, successful. People are jealous about her. Like she's good looking. Girls want to be her. Like now she kind of has that CEO, that boss mentality where she's kind of just she's kind of all that in a bag of chips, and she uses that to her advantage, and that's why people hate her. That's why it gets under the crowd's skin, and yeah, it works. It works 1,010% more than a babyface, to be honest. At number 4, I have the timeless Toni Storm. The timeless Toni Storm is slowly but surely moving down the list. I've had her number 1 for the longest time, but oh man, Mariah May is coming with a vengeance. She knows Toni Storm like the back of her hand, her protege, studying moves, learning. The student has become the teacher. Absolutely just demised on Dynamite about 2 weeks ago. Had the heel in her head and she was just bleeding and just bleeding, bleeding, bleeding. Fans were shocked. People were concerned for Toni Storm, who was, kind of like the heel. And then Mariah May was kind of like that cute little sidekick that was like, oh, she's just following what Toni Storm does. And now she went out there, she busted her open. It was immediately, too. They went down to celebrate. Bam! Like it was wow. Definitely one of the best promos that I've seen on Dynamite. Definitely one of the promos I've seen in women's wrestling. Probably my whole time as a wrestling fan. I know that I might seem a little bit too I don't know premature or anything like, but I liked it. I really liked the promo. Me, I'm an Attitude Era kind of guy. I was brought up during the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression era, so gotta love myself a little blood here. At number 3, Jordynne Grace retains her championship against Ash by Elegance. Well fought match. Very well fought match. 1,010%. This girl deserves to be on top of the TNA totem pole. Don't know who has the juice to dethrone her. Right now on the TNA roster, I think she's kind of beaten the best. And now on NXT, you've had her beat Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, and she lost to Roxanne Perez, but thanks to Ash by Elegance. So maybe future title contention, maybe perhaps. I wouldn't be against it, to be honest. I like Roxanne Perez and I like what Jordynne Grace both do on their respected brands and the promotions and stuff like that. So 1,010% would love to see this being run back. Would be interested to see any other NXT superstars or maybe a debuting, Becky Lynch on TNA or maybe Charlotte Flair comes out of nowhere, just like, or Asuka, just anything at this point would be absolutely crazy. But what I do know is Jordynne Grace is at the top of the list. No one's going to be able to take her down. And number 2, I'm talking about Roxanne Perez. We're going to bring her up. The the 2-time NXT Women's Champion. She's getting her wins. She's getting her dubs. She's not, kind of like the respect I have for Swerve Strickland is she's going out there. She's defending her title. She might be, a little on the short side, but, she has that pop rocks. It took her 5 pop rocks to defeat Lola Vice. Lola Vice is, MMA star. She's pretty big. She's not a girl you want to face in a dark alley at night. She'll probably kick your ass. But no, Roxanne Perez is the real deal. When she was with NXT, when she didn't have the belt, when Lyra Valkyria was champion, and then once when Roxanne Perez returned, I was like, you know what, Roxanne Perez, I feel like it's, a little too soon. I feel like, they put the belt back on her, like, too quick. Definitely thought she should have paid some dues already. But right now, I had to eat my words. I know 1,010% why they didn't do that. She's a star. Simply at that. She's very talented. One of the best stars that WWE has to offer right now is on the NXT brand. And I have the chat from Anthony Mazzano, hashtag mob. Roxanne is basically a younger version of AJ Lee. You know what? I believe that 1,010%. She does train with CM Punk. She does, she's very close with CM Punk in the backstage. I definitely, like I mentioned before, like her size, she's not the biggest person, but she can antagonize the locker room. She can get in people's heads. She can, manipulate situations so it ultimately kind of ends up her way. And she's the champion because of it. So, honestly, really, really good comparison right there. A young AJ Lee, 1,010%. She's only 22 years old. That is insane. That is insane. 1,010%. At number one, I know she does not hold a title, guys, and I might be playing favorites just a little bit here, but I got Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley, the moment she returned to Monday Night Raw, absolutely changed the landscape, absolutely shooken up the world of the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan, the women's division, just her presence is it's huge. And whenever she grabs a microphone, she gets the crowd into it. She cuts good promos. She's, she's very likable too. When she was a heel, a lot of people, kind of criticized, especially Becky Lynch. She kind of criticized the way, being that if Rhea Ripley's a heel, she's probably one of the worst heels in the world because the fans like her. The fans like Mommy 1,010%. Even when she comes out, and you have Dominic Mysterio with the Black Rose being like, Mamacita, Mamacita, please. Like, it was just, I don't know, it's kind of, that whole Eddie Guerrero China thing, kind of crazy. But at number one, I got Rhea Ripley because in no time she's going to win that championship back. Liv Morgan is, the true definition of a transitional bridge champion. So yeah, I'm excited to see, Mommy when she comes back and ultimately does her thing as the Raw, well, not Raw, they don't call it anymore, the WWE World's Women's Heavyweight Championship. All right, guys, do not go anywhere. Now we're going to talk about our fifth and final segment. We're going to talk about TNA Slammiversary, talk about some, what happened and stuff like that, some projected storylines that I would like to see. Obviously, would love to hear you guys' feedback. And I got a chat from my boy Tyler. Yo, man, hope you're doing good. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope all is well. So yeah, let's go and dig on into this subject matter. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez. Every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about all things professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review, our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We had both the men's and women's top 10 wrestlers, and now we're going to cap it all off tonight with my TNA Slammiversary analysis. So let's go ahead and dig on into that. So, forgot to apologize. All right, let's go. Let's do this. All right, TNA Slammiversary. All in all, was pretty damn good, to be honest. I feel like this is like their biggest pay-per-view. I feel like this is kind of, I don't know if they still have Starrcade, to be honest. I probably should have fact-checked that. But I feel like this is kind of like their SummerSlam or their WrestleMania. One of their biggest, pay-per-views and stuff like that. So, just kind of get into it. We had the broken Matt Hardy defeating JDC with a twist of fate. And after the match, he kind of, kind of added it on a little bit, giving him like 2 or 3 more, which was, honestly what this guy deserves after everything that this guy has done for the system, screwing over, title shots and stuff like that. Was kind of cool to see how Moose didn't win because of this Joker or whatever. But, gotta love to see Matt Hardy doing his thing, picking up the dub. Um, Something I also kind of want to get into, Matt and Jeff Hardy throughout social media, throughout every wrestling news segment, cage side seats, ringside news, inside the ropes, you name it. Matt and Jeff Hardy has hinted at a run at the WWE NXT World Tag Team titles. That's pretty big. Obviously you have Axiom and Frazier right now, who's been on top of the tag team division, and they've been doing very, very well. I honestly, when they won the championships, I would say the whole entire time they've been champions, I've betted against them probably every single time. I was like, all right, this is it. This is it. This is when they're going to lose. Oh, there's a wedge between Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Oh, they're definitely going to lose to the Good Brothers at Heat Wave, or was that Battleground? No, at Heat Wave they fought Chase U. Yeah, but it just never came. It just never came. So I love Axiom and Nathan Frazier. To have them drop the belts against the Hardy Boys, I got to be honest, would kind of rub me the wrong way, because same thing kind of happened. I would say probably like almost like 7 or 8 years ago. They came back at WrestleMania. The New Day were the host, and they said, "Oh, we have a surprise." And then the Hardy Boys came out, taking the titles away, taking the glory away from like the Good Brothers. Also, Enzo Amore and Big Cass when they were doing their thing. So, definitely, I think Breezango was in there too. I think, was Breezango there? That would have been crazy. Kind of have it come full circle. So he had no Hardy Boys hinting at a return to NXT. Broken Matt Hardy picks up the victory against JDC at TNA Slammiversary. All right, so now we have new TNA World Tag Team Champions, ABC. Like, I'm happy these guys won the championships. I was getting tired of the system. Clean slate in TNA right now. Moose is no longer the champion. Spoiler alert. Now, and also you don't have the system have the championships, as well. So, when a wrestling promotion does that, that's why I'm like thinking, I was like, this is kind of like the WrestleMania, where, kind of like a clean slate. Let's put new championship belts on the new different faces and stuff like that. Glad to see ABC win the championships. They've been within TNA for, quite some long 10-year time and stuff like that. But, they're going to have a lot of people gunning for them. But as of right now, the match was pretty good. They deserved it. It was a hard-fought battle. New TNA World Tag Team Champions, ABC. All right, next we saw Mike Santana defeat Jake Something. I like Jake Something, but I feel like, his bookings and stuff like that, he's not really that like, let's just slap a title on this guy. But no, he's a great competitor. And Mike Santana right now, he is warming up, definitely going to be fighting for that X Division Championship in the future. Maybe the digital media champion. At this point, I don't know who would want to face PCO, but no, like it's crazy. That's a superstar, talented man with Mike Santana. He picked up the victory against Jake Something at Slammiversary. All right, next we have the Rascals take on the No Quarter Catch Crew. The Rascals just look really, really good with Wesley. And Wesley was at that point in NXT where I feel like he was going to hang it up. Didn't really want anything to do with professional wrestling anymore after, failing against Obafemi. He can't challenge for the North American Championship anymore. So having him hop over to the tag team division in TNA is pretty huge. Obviously, since you don't have the systems representing the titles anymore, I feel like it's going to be more or less kind of open there. This was a big loss for the No Quarter Catch Crew as well. Heights and Bourne. No, not Bourne. Oh, man. Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne. I think it was Miles Bourne. Yeah, don't quote me on that. But we have the No Quarter Catch Crew. Like I said, ever since they kind of lost Drew Gulak, I feel like they kind of lost their way a little bit, lost their success, lost their fire, so to speak. And then now you have the Rascals back together. Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and also Wesley. Just lit up a fire, lit up the spark. Crazy. They're going to go after ABC. I guarantee it. That would be sick. Or maybe they go after Nathan Frazier and actually maybe Wesley teams up with Zachary Wentz or something like that. That would be absolutely awesome. I would love to see that. PCO, the French-Canadian Frankenstein, defeats AJ Francis in a Montreal street fight with everything going against him. Oh man, even Rich Swann got involved. That jerk. We have a new digital media champion and also a Canadian international heavyweight champion, Steph D. Launder. At the end of the match, proposes the PCO. You got the girl, you got the championship, but most importantly, you got the glory. Congratulations to PCO. Pretty awesome. 1,010%. When I first started watching TNA, I was like, dude, this guy's like, who would want to cheer for this guy? But now you kind of got a soft spot for the big guy. You got a soft spot for the big fella. Much like Frankenstein, all he wanted to do was be loved. All right, now we have our TNA Knockouts World Championship match. We have Jordynne Grace defending her championship against Ash by Elegance. After a hard-fought battle, I got to be honest, once when Ash by Elegance walked into this, I was like, all right, this is just going to be another beatdown. But she did very, very good. It was, she made Jordynne Grace work for it, fight for it. There was a point where you thought she could ultimately beat Jordynne Grace. I thought that was going to happen too. I was like, oh my God, this is it. Like all these titles are changing hands, and now it's time for the women's division as well. But that didn't happen. Jordynne Grace was able to pick up the victory, the Juggernaut driver for the win. But you got to still give it up to Ash by Elegance. One of those things once again where you did lose, but at the same time you kind of won there. You won the respect of the superstar. Definitely won the attention of the wrestling universe. So this was not a loss. 1,010%. She's going to be in championship contention. Would love to kind of see her fight. Maybe move on to NXT, fight Roxanne Perez. That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty awesome. All right, we got a new champion as well. Bam, bam, bam. Speedball Mike Bailey defeats Mustafa Ali, but in dramatic fashion. By dramatic fashion, I mean, Mustafa Ali brought out referee Earl Hebner. I didn't know if that guy was still around in professional wrestling. It was kind of cool to see him, though. I got to be honest. Like, after seeing everything, he was like, Triple H hated him as well. Back when Triple H, the McMahon Helmsley era and stuff like that. It was kind of cool to see him. I got to be honest. I was like, what is that referee? Or he's like, no, no. So it was kind of cool to see that. Obviously, then the chant started, you screwed Brett started happening. Obviously, they were in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where it happened. Mustafa Ali put Speedball Mike Bailey in the sharpshooter, expecting Earl Hebner to do the same thing that he did. Obviously, Earl Hebner, he learned twice. He, without a second guess, he was like, no, I'm not doing it. If you're going to win this match, you got to win it honestly. So Speedball Mountain is the new X Division champion. Hope that doesn't really, hurt, his partnership with Trent Seven, because I definitely love the way they're together. Definitely love their tag team. So, hopefully this doesn't cause the demise of them. That'd be terrible. All right, Nick Nemeth, the main event. You saw Josh Alexander, Frankie Kazarian, and Steve Macklin, Joe Hendry, and the defending champion Moose, and of course the winner of it all, Nick Nemeth. Kind of crazy. Proud to say it. He's worked his arse off. Definitely deserves it. Joe Hendry eliminated Moose. That was pretty awesome. Then he had that jerk Josh Alexander kind of mess it all up. I was like, dude, he's gonna call out John Cena tonight. What's up? But it never happened. So then you had Nemeth and Kazarian, the zigzag. That was it. The 1, 2, 3. We have a new TNA World Champion, Nick Nemeth. Pretty electric, pretty awesome. Loved it 1,010%. Thought it was a great pay-per-view. All in all, I give it out of 5 stars. You know what? I'm going to give it a full 5 stars there. I'm going to be Dave Meltzer here and be like, oh, that was 5 stars. Also, Eric Young defeated Hammerstone. Tasha Steelz defeated Folly Apache, Giselle Shaw, and Zaya Brookside. Kushida defeated Rich Swann, Masha Slamovich, and Alicia Edwards successfully defended their TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships against Spitfire. So definitely an electric weekend of wrestling. Smackdown. Then you had, TNA, and then now you have Monday Night Raw that's on right now. I can't wait to watch it. So yeah, guys, that was my show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Thank you so much. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button. Follow us on all of our major content platforms: Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, and TikTok for absolutely anything in concern with content and updates. And also here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. So please remember to leave a positive review. Also subscribe to the show. And something I always say, if I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, we have college football heating up with Tommy. That's right around the corner. We also have the NFL. We got a chip shot football podcast with Manny, the football podcast with my boy Kenneth, and we have my man Emran right now coming on with the soccer podcast at 9:30. We have the Andrew Tate show. We also have Sam with baseball. And yeah, just make sure you be a part of this. We have my boy Nelson on basketball and Chris Shepard with fantasy sports. Fantasy sports right around the corner. Obviously, those who love to play fantasy football, who doesn't love to play fantasy football? If you're looking for them sit downs, looking for them stardoms, looking for them draft picks right now, hit up the GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast and watch my boy Chris Shepard basically show you guys the way. So yeah, be a part of this GSMC Sports Bloodline. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into my show. Absolutely love you guys. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern sharp. So hey, have a great day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to